If you saw my last video, I went over the top 5 best solo drop spots in Chapter 5 Season 2. Today's video is going to be a continuation of that, and this is going to actually be the top 7 best duo drop spots in this brand new season. Now guys, I did have a preface at the start of that video. I said basically guys, these new drop spots are primarily going to be in the new biomes, which is going to be the Underworld and the Olympus biome. If you guys are interested in looking at more drop spots that are in the old biomes, what you guys can do is check out my duo drop spots video from last season. That one was really effective. I hope you guys can actually find a drop spot there if you don't find one in this video. But if you guys watch both, you're going to be getting around 15 really high quality duo drop spots. Let's hop right into exactly what makes these drop spots so good and exactly how you guys can land there. Now, I also had another preface at the start of that last video, guys. I'm not really going to be going too in-depth into the, different slurp barrels, different aspects of materials, how you can farm them. That type of stuff isn't what this video is about. This video is just simply about how to land there and how to make sure you survive off spawn. Yeah, I'm going to be going over the basic amount of chests. However, everything else is pretty much basic information. You guys can find it using the website fortnite.gg. With that being said, let's hop right into the first drop spot. Now guys, the first drop spot is going to be known as the Underworld Station. This is a really low-key drop spot, very closely located to the Underworld POI and also the Grim Gate area. It's going to be a very small area and it's on the edge of the Underworld biome and the Dark Forest biome. Now guys, this Underworld Station is going to be having 5 chests, which isn't that much for duos guys. However, the big benefit of this POI comes where you guys can rotate out to other places in order to stack up on even more loot. So essentially you guys can land the actual Underworld Station. It's going to be a small building with some train tracks next to it, and then what you guys are going to have to do is you're gonna have to go there and then rotate out and then find more loot at other POIs. Now, if you guys are looking to survive off spawn at the Underworld Station, my best recommendation would generally be for you guys to land here and try to alpha up a position on either high ground or near another small POI. What you guys can do is you guys can rotate over to some hills and then try to base up on those hills, maybe look for loot around stuff like the other windmill, or if you guys are rotating over to the gas station, that's another good spot as well. Ideally, what happens from you guys actually succeeding from this drop spot is you guys rotating to a power position and you guys are actually able to succeed and base up on that power position. Keep in mind that you may be contested by some people, some stragglers from the Underworld POI. However, if you guys are able to land at this drop spot and replicate it, you should be able to win those off-spawn fights without a doubt. Let's move on to the second drop spot. This is going to be known as Pantheon Path. Pantheon Path, guys, is located down in the Olympus biome. This is going to be kind of on the edge of the Olympus biome and the standard green biome. It's going to be having around 11 chests, and it's actually a pretty tight-knit POI, so you guys can land here and you can easily loot really quickly and then rotate out to another place similar to the last drop spot and then go and get more loot at a different POI. You guys can rotate over to the little villa. You guys can go to Mount Olympus and get W key eliminations if you really want to. You can rotate down into fencing fields, other southern POIs as well. You have a lot of options from the Pantheon Path. That's why I think it's such a strong drop spot right now. If you guys are looking to win off spawn in the Pantheon Path, guys, my recommendation would be land here at a split drop with your duo partner. One person I want to land at the actual Pantheon Path area, that's gonna be the building, and then one more person to land near this tree with all of the chests. And then after that, guys, I'd recommend you meet up and then rotate out and decide what to do from there. If you guys are contested, which is fairly possible considering that there may be some stragglers from Mount Olympus rotating onto you, you guys should try to land in the same spot, loot up, and then fight as a team. That's the best way to actually play this drop spot and how you guys are generally going to succeed here. Moving on to the next drop spot, guys, this is going to also be in the Mount Olympus biome, once again on the border of actually 3 biomes this time. This is going to be known as Dumpenhausen. Despite the very strange name, this POI is kind of located in the middle of the snow, the green, and the Mount Olympus biome. It's going to be having 12 chests in a pretty large area, so you may actually need to spread out and loot all of these chests. There's some chests in the snow and the green biome located near the little lake, and then most of the other ones are located in the actual Olympus biome itself. However, my recommendation if you guys are looking to land here is you're looking to land around here and rotate over to another big POI. You guys are really close to Reckless Railways. You can easily rotate there. Grand Glacier Hotel's always a possibility as well. And obviously Mount Olympus if you guys want to try and go W key down there. However, if you guys are looking to win this drop spot off spawn, you need to pretty much master 2 things. If you are contested, like I said, land together and fight as a team. If you're not contested, you need to split this drop. One person needs to land towards the northern side of it. The other person needs to land to the southern side of it and then meet up after looting and then rotate out and continue with your game plan. There's a bunch of different options for you guys to base up on high ground positions after you loot this area. My recommendation would be go to a hill nearby, maybe find somewhere else to base up. However, all I'm trying to say is that there's plenty of options from here, and I'm sure you guys will succeed if you do land at Dumpenhausen. Now guys, the next drop spot is actually going to be a collaboration of 2 places that I mentioned in my solo drop spots video. This is going to be the Summit Base Camp and the Summit Temple. This is obviously a split drop, guys, and you do have a lot of potential to get tons of loot from here. It's going to be having 12 chests over a pretty small area, which is why I think it's so powerful. It is located on the edge of the map, so rotation does get a little bit irritating sometimes. However, I think that it's really applicable if you guys are trying to land here and then rotate out really quick. One person ideally should land at the summit base camp, and then one person lands at the small little Olympus temple area. That's ideally if you're uncontested. If you're contested, guys, I would actually recommend that you land at the base camp, because not only does it give you a high ground elevation perspective, it also gives you guys slurp barrels so you guys can get shield guaranteed. That's the really big part of this place. It's really interesting to play off spawn. There's different ways you guys can win, different ways you guys can get the advantage, and you guys obviously can rotate out very easily to the snow biome based up on hills there. You guys can go into the Olympus biome, rotate to other POIs and W key. You have a bunch of different options from here, considering that it's in a pretty open area, and it's actually very accessible to everything, including the ocean, guys. If you guys are looking to play passive, or maybe rotate super deep dead side, you guys can go to the ocean, loot up and farm a little bit more, and then rotate around the map if you guys choose to do so. Ideally, everything you guys want to do from the summit base camp is possible. Now, guys, the next POI is the biggest split on my list today. This is going to be Sharon's Crossing and the Bridge split. This is located once again in the underworld biome. However, it's going to span over a large amount of area. There's going to be a place that I went over in my solo drop spots video called Sharon's Crossing. That place is going to be very easy to loot. It's going to have around 7 chests. It's very quick and easy to actually loot and farm there. And then there's going to be the bridge. The bridge has chests and other things that are more spread out. However, if you land in the correct way, you can easily loot this very quickly. The one thing I would watch out for is that people do tend to land at Sharon's Crossing, so if you guys are contested, I recommend maybe both of you guys land at the bridge, loot up there, and then maybe either go fight the team at Sharon's Crossing, or just get the loot at the bridge and then disengage. You have plenty of different options at this place. A lot of the different people that are landing here tend to not be as strong players, simply because they could be playing at the other POIs like Grimgate and the Underworld, except they choose to land at the weaker POIs. So ideally, if you guys are able to land here and fight as a team, once again, one person lands at Sharon's Crossing and one person lands at the bridge if you are uncontested, you guys will definitely succeed at landing at this POI. Now, guys, the next POI is actually one that's not very new. I don't think it's changed at all in this recent season, as a matter of fact. However, I just could not leave it out of this video. I remember including this one in my solo drop spots video last season. However, I definitely know that the yacht is a very good POI that has to be acknowledged. Now, the yacht has an astounding 16 chests, along with a bunch of floor spawns, a bunch of access to a bunch of different things in this POI. But in my opinion, the greatest thing of the yacht is that it's very easy to actually fight off spawn here. You're very secluded from the rest of the map, so you're not really going to be having to worry about too many third parties. Yes, it is possible that you can get third party, but it's actually not that hard to win off spawn as long as you guys are good at fighting in this yacht and understanding the geometry of it. To win off spawn here, guys, I'd recommend you learn the geometry of the yacht. Learn all the floor spawns, the doors, the peaks, pretty much everything important to fighting in this boat, you guys should understand. There isn't necessarily a place where I'd recommend you guys land if you are uncontested. Pretty much just land on opposite sides of the boat and then kind of go through a snake route looting the whole thing. It's not that deep when you guys are actually landing here. You guys are focusing on trying to get it as quick as possible if uncontested. You guys do have a launch pad for rotation. You can obviously use the water to rotate dead side if you want to. There's a bunch of different options you have from this yacht POI, and I think it's really valuable for you guys to learn and play it well if you guys are looking to land somewhere that's really good on loot, but that is not very contested and is not very hard to fight off spawn. Now, you guys obviously know how I like to end off my duo drop spots videos. I like to go over my favorite named location from the new season update that I think you guys can land at for duos. I think this is definitely going to be Brawler's Battleground. In my solo drop spots video, I said it was Grimgate. That still applies to duos. However, Brawler's Battleground is something that I like a lot more, simply because I think that the chests are a lot closer and easier to loot. Grimgate has a bunch of elevation changes. It has very strange geometry that we've never really seen before. While Brawler's Battleground is pretty new, I feel like the geometry is fairly simple for you guys to loot it extremely efficiently if you are in a situation where you can loot a large amount of the POI without getting eliminated. Obviously, you probably are going to be contested at Brawler's Battleground. It's a pretty contested POI. It's really, really hot because a lot of people from Mount Olympus will actually disengage and maybe rotate here if they don't get a great job for Mount Olympus. The primary reason I'd recommend you guys land Brawler's Battleground is you can have your Storm Surge fights and your damage off spawn. You guys can go WQ if you really want to, but you do have the option to rotate dead side using the water, using different attributes of the map. You guys can go to base up on high ground. If you guys are rotating out of here, you guys can use a launch pad on the hill. There's a bunch of different options for you guys to actually rotate out of Brawler's Battleground, which is why I think it's truthfully better than Mount Olympus. In the modern day season, guys, everybody's going to be trying to look for those wings in order to try and rotate out of places and use mobility. However, people don't understand that there's so much permanent map mobility on this map. It's very easy for you guys to land Brawler's Battleground and have a really successful rotation pretty early on in the game. That's truthfully why I think this is the best named POI for duos. Obviously, if you guys are uncontested, which is very unlikely, just land on opposite sides of the POI and then loot as quickly as possible. And I think if you guys are landing this named POI and you are a really accomplished team that can actually succeed here, you're definitely going to succeed in your competitive events. Guys, that is my video on the best duo drop spots of Chapter 5 Season 2. I really am actually liking the season. I'm liking the map updates. I'm liking the item updates. Obviously, I wish that there were some different weapons. I'm not the biggest fan of the weapon meta. However, the items such as the wings, the Zeus lightning bolt, I'm really liking all that stuff. Let me know what you guys think of the season in the comments below. But that is about it for this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.